An electric eel can send out hundreds of tiny electric pulses every single second, all through the murky, muddy water around its body. The water it lives in is often so cloudy and dark, an animal swimming just a few inches away could be almost impossible to see. And yet, this eel can still find that same hidden animal, aim carefully, and strike with almost perfect accuracy every single time. That should not be possible. Most hunters rely on their eyes to find food. Without clear sight, most predators would struggle to hunt at all. So how can this eel hunt so precisely in water where seeing anything clearly is nearly impossible? Most people would guess this eel must simply rely on smell, or maybe on feeling small movements in the water, the same way many other animals hunt when they cannot see well. That seems like a reasonable guess, since many blind or nearly blind hunters do rely on those other senses. But that guess misses the real answer here. Smell and feeling water movement do play a small part, but they are not the main tool this eel is using. The true secret is something far stranger and far more precise. This eel is not guessing where its prey might be. It is actually building a kind of picture of the world around it without using its eyes at all. Here is the real reason. This eel's body is packed with special cells built just for making electricity, stacked together almost like a long row of tiny batteries lined up one after another. Most of the time, this eel sends out a steady stream of very weak electric pulses into the water around it. These weak pulses spread outward in every direction, creating a kind of electric field surrounding the eel's whole body. You can think of this field a little like an invisible bubble the eel carries with it everywhere it swims. That bubble is not made of light, and it is not made of sound. It is made of electricity, spreading gently outward through the water in every direction, all the time, whether or not the eel is actively hunting at that moment. Living things, like fish hiding nearby, conduct electricity a little differently than plain water does. So whenever something living passes through this eel's electric field, it slightly changes the shape of that field. Almost like a rock changing the ripples in a pond. The eel's skin is covered with thousands of tiny sensors built just to notice these tiny changes. By constantly reading these small shifts in its own electric field, the eel can sense the size, shape, and exact location of nearby animals, all without needing to see a single thing. This is really a form of sensing the world through electricity instead of light. In clear, sunny water, animals build their picture of the world using reflected light entering their eyes. In this eel's murky, dark river water, it builds a very similar kind of picture using electricity instead, constantly updated many times every second. Fast enough to track a fish even as it darts quickly through the mud and cloudy water nearby. There is a second part of this story that makes the whole hunt even more impressive. Sometimes a hiding fish will freeze completely still, trying to stay hidden and safe. A frozen fish barely disturbs the eel's weak electric field at all, which could let it stay hidden a bit longer. But this eel has a clever trick for that too. It can suddenly send out two very fast, much stronger electric pulses in a row. These stronger pulses briefly force the hiding fish's own muscles to twitch, whether the fish wants to move or not. That single, forced twitch is more than enough to reveal exactly where the fish is hiding, even if the fish never chose to move on its own. This trick is a little like tapping on the outside of a box to see if something jumps inside. The eel is not waiting patiently for its prey to make a mistake. It is actively forcing a reaction out of the hiding fish using electricity to reach into muscles it cannot even see, and making those muscles move against the fish's own will. Very few hunters in nature have a tool quite this direct, one that skips past hiding and stillness completely and simply forces the prey's own body to give away its location. Once the eel knows exactly where its prey is hiding, it can finally deliver its most powerful weapon, a very strong burst of electricity, far stronger than the gentle sensing pulses used earlier. This strong shock can briefly stun or freeze the prey's muscles completely, making it much easier for the eel to grab and swallow its meal, even in water too dark and muddy to see anything at all. This same basic idea, sensing the world through a self-made electric field instead of light, shows up in a few other fish too, though usually in a gentler form. Certain other river fish also send out weak electric pulses just to sense their surroundings without ever using a strong shock to attack anything. What makes this particular eel so unusual is that it combines both jobs inside one single body, using weak pulses to quietly build a picture of the world and much stronger pulses to physically strike once that picture becomes clear. Most of these other electric fish only ever produce the gentle, sensing kind of pulse and nothing more. Their bodies are simply not built to create the much larger burst of electricity needed to stun or hurt another animal. This eel, on the other hand, seems to carry two separate electric systems inside one body. A smaller, steady system built for quiet sensing, and a much larger, more powerful system saved only for the final, decisive strike. Very few animals in nature combine both of these tools together so completely. Zooming out, this whole story is a reminder that seeing is not the only way to build an accurate picture of the world. Eyes need light to work properly. Electricity does not. In a dark, muddy river where light barely reaches at all, this eel found a completely different way to sense everything around it. One based on electricity instead of light, allowing it to hunt with almost perfect accuracy in conditions that would leave most other predators completely lost. It is easy to assume that darkness always means danger and confusion for a hunting animal, since so much of the animal world depends on clear sight to survive. But this eel shows that darkness only becomes a real problem if an animal is still trying to rely on eyesight in the first place. Once a body finds a completely different way to sense the world, one that does not need light at all, a dark, muddy river stops being a disadvantage. It simply becomes a different kind of home. So somewhere in a slow, muddy river, hidden almost entirely from view, an electric eel drifts quietly through the cloudy water, sending out its steady stream of invisible pulses. Nearby, a small fish sits perfectly still, certain it cannot be seen. It has no way of knowing that, in this dark water, being seen was never really the danger. Being felt always was.